Greetings, Rainmakers. Welcome to this month's State of the Platform walkthrough. I'm David Brandon, copywriter for Rainmaker Digital Services. Today we're going to talk about full-width templates and how to combine them with Beaver Builder in the latest version of Rainmaker Platform. We'll use these to create a responsive page with content that works on any browser and device. You're going to want to make sure you have a few add-ons enabled first. So we're going to go mouse over the Settings gear menu on the upper right and click Features. Then we'll go to Add-ons. We're going to make sure that we have the Beaver Builder and full width page templates add-ons turned on. For this demo, we're going to build a new page. Go to the left-hand menu and click Content, then Pages. Now click Add New, or you can also just click Add New from the menu if you prefer. We can switch the page template over here on the right. If you have a different setting on your page editor, for example, you use the classic editor like I do instead of the block editor, you'll still see the template in the same place. If you don't see the drop down, just click the templates pane and it'll minimize or open the pane. You'll notice there are multiple options on the drop-down menu. All of the full width options start with FW. So as we take a look here, you'll see a couple different ones. There's regular full width, there's full width with no sidebar, and full width with no header or footer. Choose the one you want and edit the page as you would normally. I'm going to choose for this demo page full width with no header or footer. Now you can edit the page via the block editor or the classic editor. But today we're not actually going to do that. We want to have a little more control over it, so we're going to use Beaver Builder. Let's go ahead and save this page after we set our slug and our page title. Now, we'll click this button to launch Beaver Builder. So, for those of you who don't know or maybe haven't used it much, Beaver Builder lets us drag and drop different content elements into our design. We have several articles about Beaver Builder. We'll link those in the description of the video. We can get right to the toolbox with all of our content elements by clicking that little plus sign up at the top right. You'll see there are modules, rows, and templates. So modules here are your content elements. They're image boxes, text boxes, buttons, etc. All that sort of stuff. Rows are the blocks and containers that you put modules in, the building blocks of your layout. And templates let you use a preset group of rows and modules for a whole page, loading in a layout that either you or somebody else has already created. So let's go ahead and grab a row from the columns section of our toolbox here. I can drag this into the page, or I can actually nest it inside another element, depending on what I'm doing. So you can see here I drag it into the page. And if I grab another column layout here, you'll see it would let me drop it inside the one we just dropped, or I can start a new one. We can do this a bunch of times, like Russian nesting dolls, what they call them, matryoshka or something like that, if we want to use those in our layout. So we've already set our template for the page itself before we got into Beaver Builder. So that full width template that we set governs the content area of the page that Beaver Builder is working with. So that content area now goes the full width of the page. But if we want our content elements in Beaver Builder inside the editor to go to the full width of the page, we'll need to adjust those manually. So we can do that by clicking this wrench that says Row Settings. From here, under Style, we can change this section of our layout to full width. And if we want the content to also span the full page, we can change that to full width as well. We can adjust this in more detail by going to the Advanced tab and changing the padding, which will set the distance around each content element. But don't mess with that unless you have to. You may need to, you may not, but it's there if you want it. Now make sure that your top level layout blocks and containers, so any columns you use on this page, are set to full width. You can also set content elements to full width the same way. You can experiment and see what looks best to you. So if I go up here to this menu and I switch to the landing page template here, you'll notice here that the main column of the page is already full width. And I can also, if I click here on this box, I can set the content to full width here, just as I did when I was building from scratch. So once we're done with our page, we can go to the top right of the screen and click Done, then Publish. So we want to make sure that that page displays the way that we want it to. So let's go ahead and, from Beaver Builder itself, we'll go ahead and preview this page on a smartphone or a tablet layout. So we can click over here on the top left menu, Preview Layout, and switch between the various devices. Once this page is live, you can also test it by hitting the F12 key from your browser and turning on the device preview, or selecting the Inspect feature in your browser. So I use Firefox for this, but it's the same key for all the main browsers. They provide this tool, it works the same way. So when you click this, you can choose between a bunch of different device dimensions, from Samsung Galaxy S8 to, iPhone, 6 or whatever. You can drag and drop with the handles. You can choose a pixel dimension manually. It's a really great way to check your page for responsiveness. All of your pages should be responsive. And if you're using a full width layout, the content should fill the full width of the screen and should have navigation based on the device. This is how simple it is to make a full width layout with Rainmaker Platform. Need design ideas or production help? We're here for you. Just drop us a line at rainmakerdigital.com/contact. Thanks for watching. I'm David Brandon, and this has been the State of the Platform.